week for AFL in this city and this state. For Buddy's announcement on Monday, can you tell us how the players reacted when they heard the news?
Yeah, it all happened pretty quick. I think he'd been in some really good form and was hoping to kind of finish off the season and see how far he could push it. And unfortunately, that wasn't the case. And I think it wasn't until probably Sunday night that he found out the severity of his injury and I think made the call there. And came in Monday morning, let a few boys know, but then came in Monday morning and announced it to the group that he was going to finish effective immediately, and he knew his body wasn't going to get up for the remainder of the season. So it was a pretty big shock knowing the competitor he is and the way in which he probably deserved to finish off his career and have a send-off would have been incredible. But unfortunately, that's the hard luck in football sometimes, and he's been an incredible player, person, and at the forefront of AFL in Sydney, and what he's done for the code up here has been incredible. So yeah, we'll catch up at the end of the year for some beers.
Just like you said, it seems a bit unceremonious. Will there be any recognition for him and his long illustrious career come this weekend or at some point in the future?
Oh, I don't think this week. I think it's all happened pretty quickly. But at some stage, I'm sure the club will be able to celebrate the great career that he's had.
Luke, just on the impact he's had in Sydney, you've been around this state for a long time. Do the Swans need another Buddy Franklin, do you think, type player, marquee player, or not?
Oh, I'm not sure if we need marquee players or what. Like, we just need to have good performers, and he's one that stood up for a long period of time, and he's the reason that people come to the football, and the things he can do on the field is pretty exciting, and not a lot of other players can do. But I think for Sydney in general, you need two teams that are performing well, winning and competing for right at the pointy end of the competition, which I think our two clubs have been for the last couple of years.
And the presence that he leaves in the dressing room, obviously you've been injured a lot, so you've got used to, I guess, playing without him in the last few years, but that presence around the club, how big of an absence will that be?
Yeah, it would be a bit weird. I think he's one person, obviously, the pure size of him, but I think you forget just the status that he holds in the AFL community, and it's been a privilege to kind of rock up each day and be able to call Bud a mate and a teammate, and be able to go to work with him each day and see how he goes about his business and how dedicated he's been to his football and his career, and the enjoyment that he's got out of the young guys coming through and helping them develop. That's something that'll be really missed.
How would you say is the team morale right now? Is it low because of him retiring, or is it more of like, we need to win this for him kind of thing?
Oh, I think that it's all happened pretty quick, to be honest. I think the main thing is we've still got a really important period in our season that we're hunting for finals, and every game is crucial for us. So look, that's all we can focus on at the moment. I think what we're talking about it on Monday is that the hard thing is that the greatest player probably of all time retires on Monday, and by Monday Arvo, you're talking about the Giants this week. So it's how the football continues to move, and that's just the inevitable.
Stephen, from your point of view, what type of mark has Buddy left on the game in this city?
Yeah, look, I think from not only my perspective, but the playing group, the Giants and the coaches reiterate what Luke said, and just in thanking him for the contribution he's made to AFL, particularly in Sydney for us. But I agree, he's probably for me, if he's not the best player of all time, he might be the second best of all time. But just incredible, for our battles against him. It's obviously better watching when he's playing a different team, but for over the years, a lot of the battles between him and Phil Davis was always a talking point going into the game, and then watching it on the field was fantastic. But can't say enough good words about the impact that he's made when you go out to schools and talk to kids, and even though they're not talking about the Giants, I'll talk about Buddy. So he's been instrumental for the game in Sydney, and we're better for it.
He's really drawn people into the sport in this city. With him gone now, do you think your skipper Toby Green could be the face of AFL in this city?
Yeah, I think he already is. I think in one way, I think one thing about Toby, and we've all spoken about his maturity over the last couple of years and how that's came on. But I think he's finally getting some of the recognition, and he had to work on some things, no doubt, but he's finally starting to get some of that recognition externally that he probably deserves.
Stephen, Luke mentioned how important it is to have two teams in Sydney both playing at a really high level. I mean, this clash feels like one of the biggest Sydney derbies probably since that finals matchup in 2021.
Yeah, it probably definitely feels like that. I think for the players as well. And I think we both had in different years than we probably have over the last few years. I think both started off slowly and we're coming into this game with lots of momentum and lots of aspirations for what's to come for the rest of the year. And we both know the importance of this game and looking forward to another wonderful spectacle on Saturday night.
Stephen, going for 8 in a row, I mean, what do you put the turnaround in your season down to?
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say I'd put it down to one thing in particular. I feel like maybe externally it's come as a bit of a surprise, but internally we've worked really hard over the summer and felt like with a new coaching style and a few tweaks that we could really build something here this year. And you look at the one before that, and we only narrowly lost to Richmond before our first win of this 7. But all I can say is that the guys, and Luke knows as well, when you go through these runs, you come out in the next game and you come into the club, wanting to get better and wanting the games to come quicker than you usually do.
Steve, do Jesse and Tom come back for certain this week?
Yeah, Tom I think will definitely play, and then Jesse will be a question mark as to training tomorrow. But fully expect one if not two to be back.
How big of a boost is that? I mean, you've won 7 in a row. You get one of your gun midfielders and potentially your number one key forward back into the team. Yeah,
it's a good problem to have, and I think not only those boys are playing at such a high level this year, but the guys that are stepping up at the moment. When you have a group that can do that, it's only a great thing.
Stephen, you've come from behind a number of times in this run. Can you tell us about the mentality of the team and what it's like when you are behind and how you overturn those deficits?
Yeah, again, it's something that we worked on over the summer, and particularly with our preparation for games, attention to detail. But we just feel like we're always in it. We feel like we're at a great level, fitness-wise, and mentally making some great decisions in games to turn it around. I think something over the past for us is overcoming. Similar, last week was obviously an outlier, but we haven't been able to do that in the past. I think this year we've finally got that. We've got momentum, and we believe that we're always in the game.
Luke, obviously a fair bit of chat about Toby going into this week. I mean, he kicked that match winner back earlier in the year. Does that result, especially losing that game so narrowly home in the SCG, kind of motivate you guys for this weekend?
Oh, not really. I think knowing just what it's going to take to make this year successful for the remaining 4 games is what kind of motivates us. I think we look back on that game, and that was one of those couple that we thought we really had that game done, and credit to the Giants, they came back in that last quarter and were incredible. But for us, mate, we know Toby's on fire at the moment. Their whole squad's on fire, and they're playing some really good football, and it's going to take our best to get over the top of them on Saturday.
Luke, the Giants are poised to have a couple of big ins. You'll have a couple of big outs in Dane and Justin. Just how big a blow is that going into such a big contest that has a bearing on your finals aspirations?
Yeah, it's disappointing for Dane, one of our captains, to go down with an injury. But look, we try to look at everything as opportunities, and we've got Aaron Francis who has come in this year and played some really good football, and again in the reserves on the weekend put up a really good game, and he's really confident in what he can do and bring to our team, and we're really confident hopefully if he comes in this week to do the job. And Juzzy McInerney's another one who's been in some good form, but once again I think we've had a few boys now in the reserves who are really putting up their hand, and as Cog said before, that's one of the good things when your squad's healthy. You've got guys who can come in or should be playing in the week-to-week 22 who aren't. So it's an opportunity for a few boys this week. I'm sure they'll grab it.
There's a bit of a calf curse, isn't there?
Yeah, at the moment we had a bit of a calf week, but all good. Hopefully no more for the year.
Dane was a pretty good matchup option for Toby. Who might get that job, and how do you try and stop arguably the most damaging player in the comp at the moment?
I'm not sure at the moment who goes to him. I think we've got a few guys who can play that lockdown role, but I know as a defensive unit, they're pretty keen on playing, helping out each other and playing that system. And we'll see on the weekend. Obviously, Robbie Fox is playing some good football, and Harry Cunningham. So I guarantee they're probably one of the two that'll be on him at times.
Obviously, we've seen Tom Hickey in the resi for a couple of weeks now. Do you think he's someone who has kind of worked on his game a bit and could push back in terms of a replacement for Bud this weekend?
Yeah, he's been a little bit up and down with injuries, Tom, this year, and had a few niggles here and there. And he had a really good game on the weekend and was trying to find a bit of form, and he did that. And I think he'll definitely be one who's up for selection. Whether the coaches, I'm not sure which way they'll go, but we know Hayden McLean's been doing a pretty good job in the ruck. But probably with Bud down, we might potentially go with that ruckman and push Doss back forward.
Stephen, you've had an incredible run so far. How confident is the team feeling, considering that this might be your 8th win already on a record streak?
Yeah, look, to be honest, when you come up against the Swans, it's just one you're always looking forward to. So yes, we're confident. Yes, we can't wait to play on Saturday, but we're also, well aware that we're coming up against a really good side and one that we enjoy going to battle with.
Luke, is this your season on Saturday?
I think if you look at the numbers, every game's your season's on the line, and that's from 5th down to 13th. So as well as these boys, they'd be looking at it as every game's their season. We know how tight it is in the ladder positions at the moment. And it doesn't take much to pop yourself into the finals. It doesn't take much to put yourself out of them.
In terms of do you think emotions will be running high on the weekend? I mean, obviously Buddy wasn't going to play this game anyway, but the fact that he's now officially retired, it really is a new era in terms of Swans footy.
Yeah, I think you want to celebrate the guys that are out there, and we've got some young players who have taken the game to another level, and they're just enjoying each game that they run out, and the excitement that they bring. They bring emotions to every game, and they're just getting started in their careers, and they're playing some. They've got Errol Goulden, Joel Amati down front, and those guys are just taking their games to new levels, and that's exciting for our club as a whole. And I think the way that their guys go about their football is just exciting.
Luke, I think you've won 3 Brett Kirk medals, is that right? You might have won a 4th, if not for Toby's heroics earlier in the season. What is it about this game that seems to bring out the best in you?
I don't know. They're just a good side, and you like to compare yourself against the best, and they've got some gun midfielders, and when you play the best teams, it brings out the best in you, and you prepare well, and you want to go in confident, and that's what both teams will be doing on this Saturday.
I reckon I'll play it on you too.
What kind of turnout are you expecting for this game? It's set to be one of the biggest derbies.
Yeah, hopefully it's a big turnout. I think both teams are, as we said, fighting for those final spots, and look, we know we got a big Swans fan base here, so they'll be guaranteed to come out west to the game, and it's great when this stadium's fully packed and the atmosphere's rocking. It's a great place to play.
As far as both of you are concerned, has this rivalry now, is it now the ultimate, for both clubs, the ultimate home and away game, in terms of rivalry?
I don't know if we look at it like that, where we look at every game as important, and especially this time of year, every game is important. There always is potentially a little bit more spice in this game, but look, it's a big game. They're playing some good football, and that's where I think the excitement's coming for this weekend.
And for you, Stephen, I suppose the Swans have been around a bit longer, maybe have natural rivalries with some of the other clubs, but I mean, I guess it's always been trying to knock off Sydney. Is this game, one that all the boys pencil in the calendar?
Yeah, look, for me personally, it is, and I think for Sydney in general, for AFL lovers, whether you like the Swans or Giants or not, I think it's one where everyone loves to watch, and I think Saturday is going to be another one of those occasions.